Yo, what up, everybody? Happy Friday and welcome to Roof Wars. If you've been following the series, I have had some really cool guests on, and this week is going to be no different. So, before we get started inside here, I want to do a formal introduction to what I would consider a territory titan, especially inside the Northwest. Mike, welcome, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing great, man.
All right. I
How
love
you
it.
doing?
And I'm doing good. Now, your background doesn't look like a normal Seattle day, at least what I would think it is.
No, not at all. Right now, I'm actually down in Denver, Colorado, just doing some executive coaching to kind of improve my leadership skills and continue help with the growth of the company. Right?
I love it. I love it. So
Yeah,
are you a lifelong learner then?
I am a lifelong learner, man. It's always about the journey. Continue learning.
I love it, dude. I love it. It's so interesting. And I'm going to kind of go a little bit off script of what we're talking about today, but there is what I have learned throughout my time is that you have contractors, number one, that are super secretive, right? They won't tell
Yeah,
you any information. And if you ask anything, everything is beautiful, great, and there's no problems. And
yeah,
sometimes it paints a picture that, like, how is everything so perfect? My business is, I have these problems and these people problems and revenue and like all of this different stuff, but this guy doesn't have any of that. Then as you start working up, and I'll absolutely say, I'll call Steve Little out for this. I'll call any of Michael Black, any of these larger territory titans. When you talk to them, they are an open book. And they are an
yeah.
open book because they're just so interested inside how other people are doing it and how they can continue to get better. But yet we contractors get caught inside this $10 million trap to be able to say, I'm doing $10 million. I have the best process and secret ever. We're really that a lot of time is what I see is the glass ceiling.
It is. It absolutely is. I'm very transparent about it, right? You got to be, and you got to continue learning, right? You got to look at others and go, "Oh, they're having those same issues. How do we figure this out? Or what are they doing different than me?"
Yeah.
Right? And as you grow, other things travel, right? You have to scale up, and not everything scales with that growth. So you have to adapt your processes, and you have to continue to learn and build to
Dude.
improve it.
There's so many cool things to unbuild, right? How many people
Yeah,
have left working with me, not because I didn't like them or not because they weren't successful, but because they hit their own threshold of what they were
absolutely.
willing to learn, what they were willing to do, what they were willing to hustle for. There's so much cool stuff beyond that. So I've personally I did Vistage. I've had
Mhm.
life coaches. I still have a life coach to today. I have business partners, everybody that just how can I get more information of everything that I don't know?
Yeah.
So I love that you're out there. I love that you're doing that, man. That is super cool. And I don't think I've given you the right introduction yet. So Mike, you're with James King, based out of Seattle. Can you talk a little bit about your world? Because I really want to dive into it today because some really unique things on how you guys started and how you got to where you are. So if I
Yeah,
didn't
like
ask
I
too
said,
many questions, do you mind unpacking the beginning of it?
yeah, absolutely. Mike Lowery, James King Roofing president, and working into ownership with Kyle King, partner. Was we are a customer service based company first. We sell roofing, right? But we are a customer service company. We have 18 service vans continually running year round, and soon to be 20, right? We truly believe in service. Service is the key to our success. And I think it's the key to continued growth and building relationships with customers, which just continue feeds our construction side of the company. We do have 8 construction crews that continue working year round as well. It started with the base of service. We started with service vans, not with the intent of, hey, right away we're going after scaling for a large scale project, recovers, re-roofs, things like that.
So that is and that's part of what I love about your guys' story, is that most of the time contractors get into service because they have to. They think, "Hey, maybe one day they just wanted to be a commercial roofer. Awesome. Welcome to the
Well,
family," right?
yeah,
But maybe you were a residential contractor and you got your first or however it came about, and you put this roof on and you got everything that you needed, right? You got your warranty and you hand the warranty over. And there's still so many contractors within the commercial roofing industry that think when they hand that warranty over, I'll come back in 20 years when you're ready for your next roof. And what I have been just engulfed in for the last 20 years is that's the easiest way to lose millions of dollars is to be able to wait for that next re-roof and millions of dollars every year. We're talking you guys having 20 trucks. That makes you a territory titan,
Mm.
right? That makes you guys owning the market and creating best practices when we start thinking about how do we move 20 trucks a day. So, how did service become the first thing that you guys wanted to do?
Oh, God, we've just believed in it. Kyle he's believed in service, man. He started it really in the Pacific Northwest. He started our roof asset management program many years ago with Snyder Roofing. And then when we decided to get James King going, that was a true belief. We really believe that service first, right? We do that we have relationships with customers and we want to answer the phone for people. It doesn't matter if it's a single leak call, if it's you just need an inspection on the roof and you need budgeting for coming up, whatever that case may be, if you have a tenant improvement happening and they're just punching through one pipe, we're going to be there. We're going to help you out. Because so many people get away from the fact that this one thing is it's relationship building, right? That's what this is all about and it'll lead to more. So we stuck to our model, stuck to our belief, right? So many people want to call for a re-roof and they just want to chase that when reality of it is they're turning away all these huge opportunities by saying that's a waste of my time to go flash in a pipe or go do maintenance on the roof. It's a waste of my time. I want this big check. In reality is what we've built and continue to build is that one pipe, that one leak on Thanksgiving or Christmas Eve at night, middle of the night, and we're like, hey, we will be there. Don't worry, we got it. We'll be your easy button. That also turns to, hey, Mike, hey, Kyle, we have this re-roof coming up. We want you solely on it, right? Or if they have to get three bids, it's, hey, we know who you want to compete against, right? We want to make sure things are where puts us at an advantage. We're an 85% negotiated company. Think of the, and people want to say they're negotiated companies, and I hear it all the time. We truly are a negotiated company, okay? We get to write our own spec. We get to choose our manufacturers. We get to pick what we're doing because they trust us. That's what it's about.
So I love that because there's so much to unpack with it. Because what I have found is that the contractors that chase the re-roofs most of the time win those re-roofs because they're low dollar. And low dollar is far less profit, right? Because it's a
That's
race to the
right.
bottom. And I can think of all of the customers that I've had over the years where they did have to get 3 bids because it was corporate policy, but they didn't get 3 bids. They got 1 bid and
That's
2
right.
throwaways because there was no chance anybody else was gonna get it. I can truly think of a restaurant chain that I used to work with, and this is a long story on a scope mishap, but at the end of the day, my price was nearly double the other 2, and it wasn't a rejection letter I got. It was a, "Hey, Chad, I don't know what went wrong with your bid, but you're twice as high, and I need you to
Yes,
look at it." They're asking, right? It wasn't just, "Holy crap, he's super high." They came back to me and said, "Your price is not in line," right? Because I want to give the job to you. I can't do it for
that's
double the
right.
cost. And we found out the scope discrepancy, but what I'm trying to get through is that it wasn't just because I had dinner with the GC, right? Or anything else to that extent. I
That's
was
right.
the contractor. I was the contractor of choice. It's just so many stories like that. You can call it
Yeah,
last look or wherever it is, but all that is
that's
trust
right.
to be able to say, who am I going to get married to for the next 20 years? Otherwise, they're going to put a roof on. It's going to be low dollar. They're going to cut corners on it. And the only thing I used to say in those situations is,
That's
I'll
right.
see you in 2 years.
Us
Right? Because yes, you're going to give it to them. They're going to do a half-assed job. And then I'm going to
I
have to
come
come
back
back and
and
fix
fix
it.
it. There you go. You hit it right there on the head. It's trust, right? We built in trust with them, right? And we own up. Hey, you know what? Sometimes we make mistakes, but we will upfront admit it and we will be there to fix it. That's what it's about. Taking care of your customers. And like you said,
100%.
it's about the call, the final call after
I've
going, "Hey, can you check this? Can you check that bid? Because it seems a little off." And a lot of times it's a discrepancy in scope. Oh, that's what's happening. Okay, I see what these other contractors did. They went this route. Let's adjust, let's get an R out where it's an adjusted scope, where we're apples to apples now. Now it's right back in our court.
100%. It was here's what we figured out. So I'll the rest of the story. It was a Duralast roof. They asked for a 15-year NDL or something like that, or 20-year NDL. All the other contractors, they did not define anything up and over the walls, coping, anything like that. All the other contractors
Yep.
went 12 inches up the wall, term barred it. Okay.
Term
They
barred
did
it.
not lift any of the curbs. They turned bar every one of the curbs. And I was like, dude, if you accept any other roofer
Yes,
on this, you're
absolutely.
going to get fired. Just want to let you know. Right? And it goes back to, like you said, that the trust. I'm
Yes,
always in help. How do I help? At the end of the day, I know that I can help every single building with a flat roof. The question
that's
is
right.
not if I can help them, it's when I can help them. So everybody I meet with, maybe I help them in a day, a week, a month, a year, maybe 5 years. But that's my only question
Yeah,
of when can I help
yeah.
you? Can I help you do budgets? That's once a year, right? Can I help you do preventative
Mhm.
maintenance? Maybe that's twice a year or something along that side. I can help you to a leak,
How can
any
I
of
be your
that. I just want to
solution?
know how I can help,
That's right.
right?
How
And
can I
not
be your
if I can help,
solution?
but
That's
when
it.
I can help.
So be solution
Yep.
based. Be the easy button. I stick to that. I'm like, I want to be your solution,
Yeah,
right?
I love it.
Let's find a way to make this work for you and make sure it's taken care of.
Have you ever read,
I
yep,
have.
have you ever read The Effortless Experience?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you say the easy button, to me, it goes to Staples, right? Staples a long time ago had the commercial that whatever you needed,
Yeah.
you just press the easy button and it just flopped on your desk, right? That's what I'm constantly going for. How do I make it as easy as possible for my customers to be able to buy from me? How do I make it as easy as possible for my customers to ask me to help? And sometimes I look at our industry and I just like, we are
Yes.
so far from great as an industry, right? Because there,
Yeah.
and I'm sure everybody is at this. My wife is there every day, by the way, but she needs something in the house. I don't care what it is, right? It could be paper towels. And she instantly, and I do it too, so I'm there. But do I want to drive to Walmart
Yes.
or do I
Yeah.
just want to order it off Amazon? Because if I drive to Walmart, I'll have it now. But if I go to Amazon,
That's right.
Amazon will have it to me by 5 p.m. today.
That's the easy button. It's convenience,
That's
right?
the easy button, right? But yet our industry takes
Right.
3 days to even a
Of the
on average.
stereotypical look in the business,
Like,
right? Where everybody stays inside the sandbox, right? Oh God, it's just
yeah,
that. Hey, we'll get 3 days before we're out there. Are you kidding me? That's 3 days. Your customer is just wondering, God, is something else happening? Is there more damage happening in the building? What's going on? Are they going to get back to me? I know when I'm sitting at home and I'm waiting for Comcast or anybody to come by, I hate waiting in the unknown. I want to know, hey, what time are you going to be here? Where are you going to do? What the issue and how are you going to resolve? That's what it's about.
we lower our standards for roofing, right? We are the Comcast. Right, and you're right, because I don't want a time frame between 8 and 5. That sucks. Now I have to take the day off work, my wife has to take the day off work, right?
Yes,
And then you tell me you're gonna be there at 2 o'clock, and this is the industry as a whole. You tell me you're gonna be there at two
right.
o'clock, and you show up at 3:30, and you still
Absolutely. You
expect
know
me to
how
be happy.
easy it is. How easy it just to say
It's
beforehand, hey, my
crazy,
team's running a
right?
little bit behind on this last call. Hey, we're going to do, hey, we'll be there a little bit later, but at least communicate it, right? But our industry allows us to, no, it's fine. Don't need it. We'll get to it.
Yeah,
That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
yep. Knowing that this is the standard, right? And I think you and I are on the same page, even though we're on different sides of the US, most of the time contractors are under delivering and experience. And the part that David and I have really kind of defined is first off, when you look at how many contractors there are in the United States, less than 5% of them actually have a service division. And the part David said it inside a meeting that we had, and it was funny at the time, but he's like, dude, he's like, you're constantly, I'm going to say this, he's going to hate me for it. He's like, you're constantly getting side chick energy. You're not married, right? You're just getting a piece of it. It's like, oh, we'll go do service. We'll go fix the leak when you call us and you have it. And you don't
Right.
actually get good service, which continues to be able to lower the standard of our customer. So as we build this and as we talk about this is about service, it's not that hard to deliver great service, right? As long as we
It
do exactly like you said, be accountable to what we're going to say. If we say we're going to do it, then we do it.
that's absolutely it. Just do
Right?
as
Can
you
we
say
call
you're
them and
gonna
tell them we're
do.
running a half hour late? Would you respect that? So, when it comes to James King and how you guys have built, how much of it do you feel is from clients that continue to invest into you guys to say, "Hey, can you guys help me with more properties? Can you guys do more work for me?" The scale side of it? And how much of your growth has been from new customers? So we have to go find someone new to be able to hit our goal this month or this year, or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, if I had to really put a number, and this is it's not really skewed. I would probably say we're close to 90% is just repeat customers and word of mouth inside of an office. Property managers that they pass it over to the next property manager, or an assistant manager gets promoted to a property manager and they're like, James King's the one we want to use. Or they move to another management service and now they've invested into that team and said, "Oh guys, you don't know about James King? You guys really need to." And then it just continues opening up the doors that way by, again, just being a trusted service contractor and communicating and going in and doing a lunch and learn and talking with them and saying, "Hey, I will answer my phone when you call." Because that's another
Yeah,
huge issue. You know how often
that's
I hear, "Oh God, I believe you answered my call right away," or, "Man, you responded to me within 15 minutes. I didn't even have to." They just know that standard. 15 minutes, you're getting a response. That is a
it's
standard for it.
I love it. I love it. So it sounds like you guys are doing a phenomenal job at creating what David and I call raving customers, which is when we look at it. So we talk a lot about like NPS, net promoter score, and how do you actually track customer happiness?
Yeah.
Because if I buy a job for you for $5,000, you come out, you do exactly what you said, and I pay you $5,000, and he's like, "Hey, how'd it go?" Yeah, they came out, they did what they said. Right? You're not the talk at a dinner table.
No,
I'm not saying if you're not working with James King, you're dumb. Like, how do you over deliver? Right? And I'm not asking for industry secrets, right? But to be able to create a raving customer, you have to under promise and over deliver where they're like, man, nobody compares to this.
communicate, communicate. That's the biggest thing. Number one thing I can say: answer your phone, answer emails, and communicate, and be the solution. Right? Ask the right questions. Hey, what do you need? What is this, a long term hold for ownership? Is this not a long term hold for them? Is this a flip? What is your goal here? What do you need out of this? And then become the solution and return it quickly, and then get your team there quickly to perform the work, and then communicate that it's closed out with the proper documentation and closeouts for it. It's really that simple. There's not a secret sauce to it. It's not like this is just nowhere to be found and where, oh my God, how are you doing this, right? It's that simple.
So a few weeks ago, I was at FRSA and I had the opportunity to speak on photo documentation. And I figured out like how was I going to get everybody involved? So I was like, all right, who has a photo process? Raise your hand. All right, who thinks your photo process is good or great? Raise your hand. And we had some people inside there. And then I said, who thinks the people that are performing the photo process screw everything up? And they all kept their hand up. And it's like the idea, the process of how something gets executed. Sometimes it's why
Yes.
we're doing it more than how we do it, right? because as you start talking about answer the phone, okay, great. I can answer the phone, right? But it's about what are we doing when you're in a sales meeting or you're up on the roof walking a roof with a customer, someone calls, or you're in that lunch and learn, right? And someone calls your phone
Oh
and you
yeah,
don't answer. This is like real life stuff, right? But it's like, who takes the phone call? Because it's only a matter of time, and maybe it's seconds, maybe it's minutes, right? If they love you, maybe it's hours before
that's
they
right.
say, I'm going to call somebody else.
Absolutely.
Especially if it's a new customer, right? It's this brand new property manager that just got referred to you guys. And they're like, you know what? I'm going to shoot them a call. I got a leak. And then they don't answer. Those are the pieces, right? When you say communicate, when you say answer the phone, like those are the things, right? That I
Absolutely.
truly feel separate the good from great is that your process doesn't break with a person, right? It's not one really good rainmaker sales rep. It's how do we get every
Absolutely.
sales rep to be that
That's
same
it.
rainmaker?
One thing you hit the
I
nail on
love
the
it.
head. How these real life scenarios, how do you got to develop process, and your team's got to be fully committed and bought in on this, right? So you have to, there's training through this. When you hire on staff, there's training about this. You have to train them up to understand that we are service based and what we provide being service based and how to answer that phone and how to get back to your customers quickly. And if you're in a spot where you can't answer, how to just forward that call over to somebody. Hey, and they know there's plenty of times if I miss a call and I'm in a business meeting, I will literally just forward the voicemail. Just in still talking, I could just forward over the voicemail, and my team knows immediately if they see that, pick up the phone call right away. It should not be an hour. It shouldn't be. They're like,
Yep.
oh, there's a call that
Love it.
came in. Let's get it done. Just like that.
So I love that. So a couple things that I'll hit on as we start getting close to the end, because I love what you're talking about because it opened up some things in my mind. The pinnacle of my service side was with Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And I say that because one, we know the name, right? Very big on curb appeal, all that kind of different stuff.
Yeah.
But I was something that they called a super contractor. And the way that they classify their contractors, a super
Yep.
contractor is ultimately a contractor that takes care of anything. Okay. Now I know that sounds crazy. It sounds like a general contractor. I am not. But what happened is I was the super contractor above your head. Okay. So if there was anything that happened above your head, you called Chad. And right, and it would come in my service team, right? We would dispatch it out. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter if it was a plumbing pipe, it was a sprinkler head, it was a HVAC vent. If it was above the head, you called me. And I say that's the pinnacle side to it, right? Because you talk about being the solution, right? We went from being a roofer to being a waterproofer to being
Okay.
masonry, right? And I'm not saying I did any of that, but it got to a point to where if anything happened in any of these stores in any of these regions, here's the one number you call for a solution. And that's how I took ultimately Chick-fil-A into a multi-million dollar account. And it's exactly like you said, I became the solution.
It's funny you say that because every one of those things you said, that's what we do. You call us, we are there to say for a leak, we are there to stop the leak. So if that is a tilt up wall joint leaking, let's set up and let's seal the tilt up wall joint. If that is a window seal leaking, seal the window seal. Now they may have another contractor in line, but you're there for a sole purpose. You're there to be the solution, right? If a panel blew
Yep.
off the HVAC, put it back on. Test the HVAC. Go through, document, and say it is the HVAC so that they can pass this information over to HVAC, right? Find the solution and document it and work through it.
Love it. Love it. The last part that I'll leave, because I think this ties in great to what you were saying, and I'll talk about Chick-fil-A specifically. Understand what's in the business, right? Because Chick-fil-A sold chicken, right? Doesn't really sound like too appealing inside that, but when you think about how much one store does and how many pieces of chicken they sell within a day and how much billions of dollars they do, they sold chicken and that's their business.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
whenever we got a leak, the purpose of us showing up had nothing to do with the roof. It had everything to do with either getting the front of the house or the back of the house where people sit or where they make the food operational. That's all it was. I was not a roofer.
Yeah,
It didn't matter if I had to put a leak diverter up, run the leak diverter over to a slop sink, and then go on the roof. My first objective was how do I get them back on track selling chicken in a safe environment?
absolutely.
And I took that same philosophy I took it to Kroger, you take it to everybody. How do I get that aisle open as quickly as possible? Because nobody cares that I fix the roof that's gonna leak for another 3 days because I have water trapped in it.
That's right.
You are still hated. When you check out, you are still hated.
Yes.
Let's be or maybe hated more. Let's just be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I love this. I love this. Okay, what advice so as we close this out, what advice would you have for a contractor that is starting in service, similar to how you guys did? And I think you said a few of it, but what would you close out with? If there's one thing that I would say is most important for a service contractor starting looking to grow their business, what would it be?
The few things I would say if you're first starting off is first would be over communicate. Always over communicate with your customers. Be available, have solutions for them. Always solutions. Question them, ask what they need. How does their model work, right? Have those conversations. And then I would say document, right? Back up what you're doing and then deliver it. Don't have them waiting and guessing. Again, be the easy button.
Love it. It's the easy button. No one's gonna work harder to work with you, right? If you do, they're gonna find someone else who's easier.
That's right.
So I
That's
love
right.
it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And
Appreciate it, Chad. You have a great one, man. And hey, everyone out there, get service in, man. Have a good one.
love it. See you guys. See you in 2 weeks.